So let's start second part of this project. So today we will see, mainly we will see the code part. We will start coding today, and our last video we have seen how we can enrich routes with trips and getting some intermediate result. And with that intermediate result, we were enriching with the calendar and getting final result. So today we will see how we will write this search functionality for route and search functionality for calendar. So, and one more thing today we will see, that is a third party tool we are using in this project for writing all our data into CSV format. So we are using this OpenCSV. So OpenCSV is a third party tool, and we will use that. Build.sbt file, just mention library, it will automatically download that library. So let's see that. And one more thing we will see in today's session, that is we will write search classes, we will write our Excel sheet writer. And before going into Excel sheet writer class, that is the name given by me, Excel sheet writer. You can give any name of your choice. So Excel sheet writer. And before writing our main class, we will write Excel sheet writer, so that in our main class we will just push our data into route, calendar, trips. Then we will enrich by using this search functionality, and after enriching we can write our result into CSV format. So for writing in CSV format we need this Excel sheet writer class. So uh, before completing this main class, we will write Excel sheet writer. So today that how we code that class also. So let me share my screen and let me write search classes first. So I'm going to create one package, that is search classes. So under that we will put all those classes which has search functionality. So I'm creating one class, that is a root search. So there is a need of two search class. One is for root search, because the root and trip will be joined, and after joining root and trip, intermediate result will be produced, that is trip root. And after that we will enrich trip root with calendar. So that is why there is a two class needed. One is for calendar and one is for root. So root search, and let me create another class, that is calendar search. So just keep this in mind, that there is uh, two steps involved in enrichment. First enrichment is between root and trip. That is why we have created root search. And second enrichment is being done between calendar and root, trip root. Yeah. So two classes I have created here. So now we have written this search classes. So let me write this Excel sheet writer. And before Excel sheet writer, let me write main class. In We have seen how we have written this search class. How do we write these search classes? So now let me write main class. In main class, we will read all those data and use that search class. So let's write main class. Now we need main main class. So that so main is an object class, and let me extend with app so that we don't need to write main function. So here in main, so the first step is to read the data of trip text file. So I am reading. So here in build.sbt also required packages are there. Let me take it here. Yeah. So let me rectify all these errors. This is to import trip case class. I have imported here, and second step is read root text file and push all those root data to root case class. So this is what we are doing here. And let me read calendar also. So here we are reading calendar. Yeah. Calendar also imported. So if you see in line number 7, we are just reading that. So let me create two objects of root search. So root search, yeah, and calendar search, which we have created. Yeah. Now enrichment, first enrichment will be done here. I will explain it. I will take a screenshot of this and will explain it. And search. Yeah. So and then second enrichment in line number 29. That is between trip route and calendar. And in line number 26, enrichment is being done between trip and route. And in line number 29, enrichment is being done between trip trip route and calendar. So I'm taking just a screenshot of this, and yeah. So if you see in let me write that. So this is the code. Write test. So I need to create one class, write test, so that I can pass this final result in this trip result, and it will write in CSV format. Okay, I will do it later. So just I'm commenting it. So yeah, here I am explaining it. So A represents a one single row at a time, one single row of trip text file. At a time, it will hold one single row. And here if you see in line number 8, I have written dot drop 1. So we are dropping row number 1 just because that is the column name, that is not the data. So that is why we are dropping that. And row is the column name. Okay, so that is why we have dropped that. The same thing is in line number 20 or in line number 15. So A will hold row number 1 for first iteration. For second iteration, it will hold row number 2, row number 3, like that. And so row A denotes a single row. So for a single row, for that row number 1, and A0 is a column number. So if you see, trip is a case class and it holds 7 fields. So uh, trip text file has 7 fields, and we have taken one row. So one row, first column will be represented by A0. First row, second column will be represented by A1 for first iteration. For second iteration, A0 will be represented by column number 1 for second row. We are just pushing data. Yeah. So I think it is clear here. So if you have if you find difficult to understand, you can give me a call, or you can just comment in chat box. I will try to explain this. So we are pushing data row 1, row 2, and row 3. That's and so on. So this one is clear. For Yeah, this one is also clear. We are just creating an object here. Okay, let me explain it in detail. So here what we are doing here. So this is the first enrichment between trip and root. So trip list. So trip list, you know that. So trip list is a list of all the row of trip. So say row 1, row 2, row 3. So this is the trip list. Trip list has that kind of data. Row 1 means the complete row of trip text file. Row 2 means so this is the trip list. Now I'm talking about trip. So in trip list we have put a map and trip. So this trip variable will hold each and every data of trip list. So for first iteration it holds row 1, for second iteration it holds row 2 and row 3, like that. So this is the trip variable. This is the data of variable trip. So now on trip variable, we are just pushing the same as it is data into trip root case class. Same data. So row 1 will be pushed into trip root. So trip root has, if you see, trip root case class has two fields. One is trip and second one is root. So trip, okay, let me choose another color. So trip, now I'm coming with trip root. Yes. So trip root. So trip root case class has two fields, trip and root. Trip we have taken row 1, same row 1 will be pushed into trip root, and for root, actually let me erase that. For root we are using this root search function. So root search function will be used here. Let me check. Let me take the another color. So trip is like that. Now it is black. So trip root, although it is a one class trip root, but it consists of two case classes, trip and root. So trip we have taken and root data we will take from this root search function, like that. So like that we will go with that. So let me color it. Trip root. That is why trip root is a single class, but I have given two different colors because it consists of two classes, two case classes, trip and root. So in this trip, so in this trip root variable will hold this data, trip root data. So that is the intermediate result, you can say, trip root data. Trip root is an intermediate result. So that data is being held by in this trip root result 1. Now come to this 30 number line, trip root, and in this trip root. So in this trip is also a case class, which if you see, it has two fields. In this trip has two fields. First one is trip root and second one is calendar. So for calendar we have already created one such class. So we'll use that. Same logic will be applied. So enriched trip 01 enriched trip row 1. So in this trip, if you see trip root, so trip root row 1 of trip root, and row 1 will be of trip row, and second row 1 will be of root, and that will be. Now we have written search classes, main class also. So let me write Excel sheet writer, so that by using this Excel sheet writer class, we can push our resultant data into this CSV format. So uh, we will write first Excel sheet writer, and then we will write one liner code for calling this Excel sheet writer into main class, and that code in main class will call this Excel sheet writer and write all the data, resultant data, into Excel CSV format. So let's do that. The whole by that will be denoted by trip root. Now let me create another package, Excel sheet writer. So Excel sheet writer will write final result into CSV file. Excel sheet writer. Under that we will create one class. I'm editing, just a second. Yeah. So name writer test, because in line number 32 I'm calling writer test object. Yeah, writer test. So now, so this is the class which will write the final result into CSV format. I'm copying it all the. Okay, we'll leave it, no need to that. So just copying it and pasting it into that. I've commented some rows because all the rows are not necessary, just for demo purpose I'm showing you, so you can uncomment at your end. So let me rectify all these errors. Yeah. So error is revoked. So now, so these are the feeds. Let me take the screenshot. I will explain you. Here also to here. Yes. So three screenshot I have taken. Let me explain. So write test classes I have already written. So this is the edit configuration. So every configuration is okay. See here, I have taken this OpenJDK. So these are the column names in line number 13. So let's run that. So it's running. So here is the output. You see. So now this file has been generated. So every column. So these are the columns which doesn't have value because I have commented those columns. Let me check. So no data. Till here we have data. Okay, yeah, no, now no data for any row. So yes. So let me close that. No need to save it. So let me explain. I've taken a screenshot. So Here if you see, let me maximize it. So these are the column names which Excel sheet has, which these are the column names which we need to show in Excel sheet CSV format. So simply these are the column names for CSV file. That is header. Column names will be treated as a header in CSV format. And line number 20 is just a row count initialization. So it's okay. And this workbook and all we are able to write just because that library we have imported in SBT. Okay. So now in line number 23 to line number 25, these are the columns cell we are creating. You can see. So these are the column names we are generating. We are generating. Yes, and this is the variable which holds your final result. So Excel sheet we have created, headers we have created. Now we need to push all those data into Excel sheet, that's CSV file. So this is the variable in this list which holds all the data. So now we need to push all the data in this list. Let me take another screenshot so that it can be clear. Okay. Yeah. So now I'm going to explain it. So this is the end of the project enrichment. So if any questions, query you have, if you have anything, if you want to say, you can comment on that. And thank you very much for this project, for being part of this project. And after some time, in next Sunday, I will come up with the next project. So till then, thank you.